All right, so we're working this week in Houston. We got a chance to come visit the Battleship Texas, World War I. Is that right? And two battleship, and just amazing at what the living quarters and the medical stuff on board. I mean, it's kind of a little floating city here, and actually at one time probably a pretty remarkable battleship. You can see all the old forms of typewriters and communications, and just find it kind of interesting. Even like we're amazed at how wide these hallways and stuff are. Doesn't seem super efficient, but I would bet in its day it was a pretty significant battleship. Where are you going now? Downstairs?
Yeah.
Oh, another layer down. So so it's really cool to see what used to be quite sufficient. Now you could probably, if this thing was out in a real battle zone, on the ocean to be used, it could be taken out easily because it's just not sufficient by today's standards. But back in the day, quite a little battleship, built for World War I, and it's even there's the brig. That's where Todd Conklin would be in for sure because he'd be getting in trouble. So I'm here with Annette and Jonice, and what are you thinking when you look at all this, Annette?
Amazed.
It's remarkable, and it's in pretty good shape to be as old as it is.
Yeah.
Kind of like me. Pretty good shape.
And considering today's technology and you're looking at this, it's like definitely stepping back in the past.
Right.
It's like you're just waiting for an old sailor from World War I or World War II to come around the corner.
I know, and say, get off my ship. But it is quite interesting, and even just though some of the things that we might look at and say, this doesn't seem very safe, but by the standards then, I guess this is some kind of a lift thing. We're trying to figure these things out. But back in the day, this was probably all state of the art. So we talked about this when I was in Torino, Italy with Andrea, how the stuff that they had back then, this was actually quite sufficient. But just like today's standards for safety and reliability have changed because systems are much more complex, what we've been using in the past may not be sufficient for today, just like this would not be sufficient in today's modern world. But it sure is cool to look at. What do you got here? Shoring timbers.
Never suffered damage.
What is it? Ship's timbers remain in their... Oh, wow. So a lot of this stuff is all in their original shape. Yep.
Bunkers?
Coal bunkers. Yep. Probably didn't have a lot of industrial hygiene stuff going on this ship. Boiler rooms. So it's kind of cool to sometimes stop and look at kind of where we've come from. This certainly is a blast from the past here.
Fire hoses look almost the same.
Fire hose looks a little out of service now. But Jonice, what are your thoughts here?
Amazing. Not sure if I could live down here this long.
We're 2 layers deep right now, right? We're down on the...
better have some good ice cream, that's all I can say.
Well, because they lived on this stuff, right? This is where these guys live.
I know.
For months at a time.
The question is, would you want the top bunk or the bottom bunk?
Oh, good question. I would want the top bunk. Annette, what would you want? Top bunk, middle bunk, or bottom bunk?
Top.
Definitely top.
Yeah. Stuff rolls downhill.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Look at this old communication stuff here. Radio room, yeah. So once again, some of the stuff we've done for years in the world of safety, some of it we need to keep, some of it's good, but some of the stuff probably needs a little updating, just like this would need a little updating if we were going to use it by today's standards.
A lot of electrical tape.
Yeah, nothing, that all looks like it should pass the electrical code. Look at this. All right, that's enough for today. Just thought we'd capture a few thoughts here about old and new and the need to sort of keep improving and figuring out better ways of doing stuff, but then not forgetting the past, not forgetting where we come from. And the Safety One stuff that got us to where we are, we don't get rid of it if it's still good, if it still works. But if it doesn't, maybe time to upgrade. Until next time, checking out here from the Texas Battleship Texas.